So before we start the chords, remember capo 2, C form, it gets us into the key of D, right? So we're gonna use that capo. I just really like C form when I play in D. D's a little bit, I don't know, it's harsh sounding, it's good for finger picking, but when you start to strum, it's just not that great. So I prefer playing in the C form. So let's look at the intro. We've got a B minor as our first chord, right? So we play the A minor shape right here to get that B minor. Now, what I like to do is release my ring finger. It's a little bit of variation to this B minor chord. But you can see here, it's my second finger on the 4th string on the 4th fret. And then you've got your first finger on the, what is that, the 2nd string and the 3rd fret, right? So that gives you your A minor, right, or your B minor. A minor shape, B minor chord. All right, the next chord we have is an A over C sharp. Now I mentioned those bass notes in the introduction. Now this is where we're first gonna see one, right? So we're gonna play our G shaped chord, but we're gonna make sure that we hit this C sharp right here, this note here. So your second finger, the 4th fret right there on that 5th string, you wanna make sure you ring that out. Now a lot of times when we see an A on the chord chart, we're gonna play this G shape. Now the reason why we do it that way rather than this way, which you'd see in like if we're playing in the key of G or in G shapes, this lends us better to the C shaped forms, right? So if I play it this way rather than this way, I'm still muting that second, well, it's the 5th string, but I'm actually ready to jump to a C or to the F shape, right? Or to the A minor shape. It just lends us better. So we're gonna do that with A over C sharp, right? So we're gonna do this, but we're gonna add that C sharp, which is a little unusual. Gives you a fuller sound, but that C sharp's there. The bass player is gonna be plucking that, that C sharp right there, and you're gonna play it with him, right? So that's the A over C sharp in the intro. Then it goes to a D, which is just our standard C shape. We've got the 3rd finger on that's the 6th fret on the 5th string. And then again, we've got our 2nd finger on the 4th fret on the 4th string. And then we got our 1st finger on the 3rd fret on that 2nd string, right? So that's our D chord, the C shape there. So then right after that, there's gonna be a D over F sharp. Now that's an F sharp here, right? This capo is hitting that top note right there on that 6th string. That's actually an F sharp. So all you gotta do when you're playing is you go from that D, where you're muting the F sharp, either with this thumb or, the upper part of your finger here. And we're just gonna let that ring out, right? That's the D over F sharp, okay? And then the last is we've got a G, right? So it's gonna be the F shape. Now you can play F shape, a lot of different ways. I really prefer it more open sounding, so I actually release my 2nd finger there. So again, you've got 6th fret, 4th string right there, and then you've got your 3rd fret and your 2nd string. That's your 1st finger right there. See that? So a lot of times you'll see me actually mute that as well, that upper string. So I'm just playing that same chord, but rather than having that F sharp in there, it sounds a little dissonant, right? So a little bit of a cleaner sound, right? So that's the intro. A few other chords to look out for. There's an E minor 7 in it. Now, it's gonna be a D minor here, but I actually prefer this way. So it's a D minor shape. I prefer to play the E minor chord like that, right? So sometimes, again, you'll see my finger stretch up there to mute that top string. You can do it with your thumb if you'd like. It's really important to make sure you're muting the strings that you shouldn't be playing. Easy mistake to make is to let all the strings ring out, right? So this is the E minor 7 that we're gonna play. So it's your 2nd string, your 2nd finger on the, that's a 3rd string on the 4th fret. And then you've got your 1st finger right here. Now you want to bar these two. So you've got this 3rd fret. You want to bar right here, right after the capo on that 3rd fret. It's a little bit tricky, but that's the way you get it. And when you strike that 4th string down. That's where you want to really focus your pick at. Again, I'm muting that top. For me, I like to bring this finger up, but if you'd like to use your thumb, it's all the same. The only other chord that's in here is going to be an A sus over C sharp, and that's the same as the A over C sharp, like we did here, right? but we're gonna add the sus. Now, the way we do that is just to take our first finger on that 3rd fret and raise that note, right? That brings us to an A sus over C sharp, right? Again, we're hitting that C sharp. It's a little bit tricky because this finger wants to get in the way and mute, but you really gotta focus that finger up. So a great technique, I don't know if you can see it, but you can actually bring your elbow forward in order to get that effect. So instead of staying back here and keeping your finger so you get mute, you know, bring it forward a little bit in order to attain the A over C sus that you're looking for. So yeah, those are the chords for this song, and just really watch those turnarounds as you're going from chord to chord. There's some quick changes. You're gonna wanna make sure that you got these chords down on lock.